Hello chemists, welcome to Chemistry 1110. I'm your instructor, Dr. Lisa Wynn. You can call me Dr. Wynn, Dr. N, or Professor. You're all watching this video right now because our world is experiencing some unprecedented changes. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't at all anxious about this coming fall semester. In fact, I'm actually quite excited. This is my second semester teaching here at Lima, and things are constantly changing. So this situation actually allows me to try new things and be a bit more creative. So let's understand that as we move forward and things might change, we all just need to be a little bit flexible. So I'll do my best to make expectations absolutely clear. You'll learn soon enough that I like to make analogies. So I have an analogy for you in this first minute of you meeting me. So have any of you ever taken driving lessons or done learner's permit school? Well, I never did, but luckily I had friends who filled me in with some tips. So I think when they teach you at driving school, they talk about the difference between aggressive drivers and defensive drivers. And then they stress the importance of being a defensive driver so you're able to react calmly in different situations. But as I've grown older and driven all over the place, I've actually come up with my own philosophy. I don't want to be an aggressive or a defensive driver. I actually want to be a predictable driver. So that means using my turn signal well ahead of time, being in the correct lane before I make some, exchanges or maneuvers, and leaving a lot of space between me and the driver ahead of me. Oh, just the other week, I was driving with my friend Pat to get takeout from our favorite Indian food place. So they were driving, and I noticed on their GPS, it said to take this exit in like 1,000 feet. And of course, we're riding the leftmost lane. And I'm like, hey, Pat, isn't this our exit? Oh yeah, you're right. And then so they swerve between a bunch of cars across 3 lanes to make our exit. So I don't know about you, but that's not aggressive driving or defensive driving. That's just reckless driving. So when applying my philosophy of being predictable, well, let's just say that there's like a joke with my family. I take the Pennsylvania Turnpike to go visit my parents a lot. And so the joke is, oh, our exit's coming up in 180 miles. We better stay in the rightmost lane. All right. So what does all of that being predictable have to do about teaching? Well, I want to make sure that you have a clear view of all of the expectations that you need to succeed in this class. But, understand that things might change. We might have to change some lanes as the semester goes on. But if we do make those changes or, change lanes, know that I will always give you ample time to complete things and also keep you updated on instructions you need to complete those things. So my goal for this class is to mold you into chemists. So, and I actually call you that, like at the beginning of this video. So what does this goal mean? It doesn't just mean, learning the key concepts, but I also want you to be able to apply that learned chemical knowledge to your everyday life. And hopefully in the process, you'll develop the tools you need for critical thinking and analysis. And hopefully with some of the face-to-face labs, we will also improve your lab skills. And most importantly, I hope that you can understand the world around us a little bit more through the lens of a chemist. So if you've made it this far in this video, I congratulate you. You'll be seeing a lot of me in my home office in this room, giving lecture videos and office hours and such. So let's all use technology to the best of our ability, especially to communicate effectively. I absolutely welcome emails for questions and concerns. Like most millennials, I'm glued to my phone all the time. So, I'm typically I respond very quickly to messages. When I send out class announcements, I'll most likely do so through the Carmen messaging system, just because it's the easiest way to get the lot of you all at once. But if you're contacting me, I actually prefer you contact me through my regular email. I'll put my dot number right here. So yeah, send me messages through regular email, just because it's easier to attach pictures or files that we might need to share with one another to see, so I can see your work. I'll still answer Carmen messages, but again, if you need to send me a file or a picture, do so through regular email. So again, I will do my best to communicate effectively with all of you, especially when it comes to instruction and laying out the expectations. Since I'll do my best, I expect sufficient effort on your end of things. If you actually take a look at the lecture syllabus, which is on one of the Carmen modules, I've copied OSU's expectation regarding 2-to-1 ratio of student effort, meaning in a week, for every hour of in-class instruction, you should be dedicating 2 hours at home studying, working on homework, lab reports, things like that. So our class has 4 hours of formal lecture, 3 hours of lab a week. So total, that's 7 hours a week. So you should be averaging about 14 hours weekly of working on chemistry in some type of capacity. You know, it might change from week to week, but hopefully you're averaging 14. And that might seem like a high number, but remember, this is a 5 credit hour course. So there is more time commitment involved when compared to a 3 credit hour course. This year will also be a lot harder because it's nothing like we've experienced before. You know, we're accustomed to a certain type of schooling structure, but now things are different. So many of the components of this class, now that it's hybrid, things like lecture slides, videos, discussion, homework, and quizzes, that's up to you to complete on your own time now. So do not fall behind, especially with lecture. But you know, that's easy for me to say. I'm sure all of your professors say the same thing. But remember, just 1 year ago, I was a student just like you. I was a student until I turned 28 with no breaks. So I have that experience of being a student. So I do have a couple tips for you that really helped me succeed in college. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't figure out the whole how to be a student thing until about my 3rd year of college. So if you haven't done so already, secure a place where you can sit down and complete schoolwork. So that means like a desk, a kitchen table, anything but your bed or your couch. Beds are for sleeping, not for learning. Also, your back will thank me later. Also, block off time in your day to dedicate towards schoolwork. Keep in mind that 2-to-1 ratio thing. So maybe in the first weeks of the semester, you can record how much time you're actively spending on each of your courses. And so then as your grades roll in with all of your different courses, you can reassess your time commitments and your schedule and change things as needed before it's too late. And then probably my most important tip for you is to write everything down. If you're doing a word problem, write out your work with all the units, the equations that you need, the original question, so you can refer back to it later. You know, learn how to do it once. Students love to just, you know, type things into their calculator and then spit out a number and slap it on the page. But, you know, if the numbers only exist on your calculator, you'll have nothing concrete to bring to our open note quizzes and the final. So write things down so you don't have to relearn things later. You know, one of the best things that helped me in college actually was getting a notebook for each of my science or math classes and then filling it up with practice problems. You know, I would print out a question, print out the question, I would tape it to the top of the page of the notebook and then work through the problem, usually 1 question per page if it was like really intense. And then, you know, when I was completing assignments or labs or whatever, I would remember, oh, I've seen a question like this before, and then refer back to that notebook. Oh, it made studying for exams a breeze because I would just like flip through things and like remember, oh yeah, this is how I did it. And I actually still have all of these notebooks that I filled out in my undergrad, and I actually use them to study for my graduate classes at OSU and also my PhD defense. So anyway, this intro is long enough. Thanks for listening. Let's have a great year, chemists.